Hello and welcome to Pursuit of Perfect System. The astute among you might have noticed that I've been reviewing one by one the products or the hi-fi components that made up my review system where I achieved the best sound I ever have. And in this video I pay homage and thanks to Tellurium Q, who sent me some statement cables for review. Statement speaker cables, statement speaker cable jumpers, and statement single-ended RCA phono cables. Regulars to the channel will know that I've been using various Tellurium Q cables in my review system for about the last 18 months. And I feel like I've got a really good understanding of the company's black cable family and the company's silver cable family. But what's interesting is the statements don't really belong to any of the families. They are a beast to themselves, and they even have their own dedicated website. In saying that, I think if you own any of the Tellurium Q blue, black or silver cables, then you're very likely to happily or willingly part with a body part or two to get your hands on the statement cables, because they are very much Tellurium Q. And there's a lot of the benefits of all of the ranges that carry over, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. I think I was one of the first reviewers to get a demonstration of the Tellurium Q statement cables. That was about a year or so ago, and they made a really big impression on me. But I say I was lucky. They rocked my world and ruined my life in equal measure. And I made a video about that experience, and since then the Tellurium Q statement cables have won countless Product of the Year awards from journalists and hi-fi magazines and publications all around the world. And I don't mean to say I told you so, but now the speaker cables are very stiff and pretty heavy and in a shotgun type of configuration. There is a very distinct red colour to them. I don't know if that's there to signify the love you are inevitably bound to feel when you listen to them, or if it's there as a warning that there's bound to be a lot of money leave your bank account when you listen to them and can't listen without them. And you think I'm joking on that one, don't you? And I wish I was joking. Tellurium Q use their own expanding banana plugs. The speaker cable jumpers are some of the thickest I've seen so far, and they feel really significant in your hands. In contrast, the analog interconnects are quite thin, very flexible, and extremely understated. That is one thing you'll definitely notice about all Tellurium Q cables. Even up at this level, there is no bling. There's no jewelry, there's no big bits of carved wood, there's no flashy or crazy designs, and there is no massive, great big, huge boxes along them. Now, I've got no problem at all with cable jewelry, big boxes or whatever, but that's just something definitely distinctive about the Tellurium Q cables. And looking at the statements, they look pretty understated, pretty simplistic, but they do look like they mean business. Now, I would love to tell you what's going on inside the Tellurium Q statement cables, but there are only a handful of people down at Tellurium Q HQ, based in the southwest of the UK, that know, and I've been told there is a mute Tibetan monk who knows, and he's been sworn to defend this secret with his kung fu life. And trust me, don't try and take him on. Don't take him on. I've been lucky to have the Tellurium Q statement here for a number of months, and I've used them to review lots of different hi-fi components, amplifiers, DACs and other things. Before I used the statements, I was using the Tellurium Q Silver Diamond, and before Silver Diamond I was using Tellurium Q Black Diamond. So it's been a period of time with very high-end cables in the system. Those are the cables I'll be using for my direct comparisons, but bear in mind I've used and tried loads of different cable manufacturers, cables over a number of years. And I think before I go on to talk about the statements, I want to make it clear that both the Tellurium Q Silver Diamond and Black Diamond cable ranges are really fantastic. It's just that the statement cables are on another level. And the reason why I like the Silver Diamonds the best out of all the cables that I've tried to that point is that they helped my review system have the most focus, resolution and clarity, the most soundstage space. And by that I mean space between different elements of the music, and more importantly to me, with how I listen in my room, is perceived space between me and the speakers, or me and the elements of the music. And they do all that while having a very full and dynamic sound and a nice amount of sweetness. And I prefer the Silver Diamond over the Black Diamond because they are better in those key areas. I would say the Black Diamond cables have a more fleshed out and full sound. But I think there's something important to look at there. Sometimes a more full and fleshed out sound can be caused by the sound actually being more coloured as opposed to more full. And the reason why I preferred the silver diamond over the black diamond is because they were less coloured and more transparent to the source. Getting back on topic, why am I so excited about the Tellurium Q statement cables? Why are they winning so many Product of the Year awards all around the world? And why do they cost so much money? Well, they cost what they cost, but in performance terms, of all the cables that I've tried, taking them away, these are the cables that I've missed by far the most. And I've really appreciated the fact that I've had quite a few months to listen to them because I've been able to hear lots of different things about them. I would say the sound overall presentation is more full and fleshed out. Funnily enough, more in keeping with the black diamond cable range. But I think even more interesting and exciting is the fact that I would say the clarity of the sound is about the same as the silver and black diamond cables combined. Extremely impressive. The clarity, it's just delivered in a different way. You seem to go to the clarity as opposed to that clarity coming to you. That's a hard one to describe, but it is one of those things. I think that's one of the factors that you instantly notice when it's there and then instantly miss when it's gone. And I think that is because the sound from them is so evenly balanced, and you'll notice this from the bass right up to the treble, but it's most pronounced in the mid-range. Things like vocals, the bottom octaves and the bottom harmonics of vocals and timbres of instruments, you'll notice that immediately be improved. And it's lots of those small details and small things that you instantly notice when they're there, when previously they weren't there. And it's immediate and instantly noticeable. I'd say there is about the same soundstage space and size as with the Tellurium Q silver diamond cables, which is extremely impressive when you factor in what I just said about there being more harmonics to the sound and generally a more rich overall sound presentation. I think a more concise way to describe all that would be the cables have improved organic quality, but if I just said that, I don't think you would really know what I mean. So that is what I mean. I've just explained that to you. And to be fair, if that's all we got from the statement cables over other very high-end cables, I think that would be enough, but that's not all we get. I won't say that the Tellurium Q statement cables enhance the sound because that's not what they do, but I'm going to push you back, and hopefully you was with the channel back when I first installed these in my system for review purposes, and it was during the review of the SMSL M300 DAC. When I installed the Tellurium Q statement cables, they elevated the sound of my review system to a level that I hadn't experienced before, and I think it was probably damn close to the best sound I'd ever had from that system at the time. And the crazy thing about that is I'd had much better hi-fi components in my review system before with the exact same pair of speakers, but the Tellurium Q cables elevated that sound, which is why I made the video about it, and you can go and watch it and go and cross-reference what I'm talking about. And I nicknamed and called that effect the statement effect. So what do I mean by the statement effect? Well, that's you hearing your system sound as good as you always wished it would and always thought it should. And I think that is the reason why the Tellurium Q statement cables have been winning so many Product of the Year awards across the world, because reviewers and journalists have been hearing their systems with the statement effect. Sound from your system that's so good it will put tears in the eyes of an aging, slightly crazy, passionate audiophile. And you think I was talking about me, didn't you? I was actually talking about you. These statements are unbelievable. They're unbelievable. It's exactly what I said. All of a sudden your system sounds how you envisioned it would sound in your mind, how you really, really wanted it to. Something else that will probably bring a tear to your eyes, and that is the price of a full set of statement cables. The speaker cables retail at £1,740 per mono meter. So a 3-meter stereo pair set of them will cost you over £10,000. The speaker cable jumpers cost just shy of £1,000, but that is for a stereo pair or 2 sets of them. And the RCA single-ended phono analog cables cost about £4,300 £320. So a total analog set for me for this review system cost just over £15,000. So that is a serious investment amount of money, but it is an investment. It is a serious investment in the sound quality of your hi-fi system. Now I know there's going to be audiophiles that go crazy and say, oh Terry, that £15,000, that's twice the cost of your speakers. And I will totally agree, I will totally make you right. All I can say on that fact is, you know, those same speakers only sounded about half as good before I put the statement cables into the system, to power them or whatever way round you look at it. They honestly only sounded about half as good as they do now, or they have done recently. So it's really difficult not to be excited and infused and thrilled by the effect of the Tellurium Q statement cables, the Tellurium Q statement effect. It really is hard to not be bowled over by that, and you can see why I love them so much. It's worth pointing out that there are lots of cables out there from lots of different manufacturers that cost many times what the Tellurium Q statement cables do. And you know, how much more perfect do you need audio cables to be? How much more perfect can they get? That's a really exciting and interesting one, because for me, the Tellurium Q statement cables seem pretty damn close to perfect. And I think the set I have here, I think they look and sound more perfect the fact they are here. And I think they should probably stay here. In fact, they've even got my name on them. Did you read that correctly? That's right, hands off. Pow! So for my final thoughts on the Tellurium Q statement analog cables, the speaker cables, the speaker cable jumpers, and the RCA analog interconnects. There's a big part of me, at least half of me, that wants to recommend that everybody, if they get a chance, listen to your system with these cables in, just to get the experience of it, just to experience what a cable at this level can do to a hi-fi system. There's a big part of me that wants to advise that, but at the same time, there's half of me at least that wants to advise you not to do that, because once you've heard the system perform at that level, it can be really very difficult to come back from that. It can take quite a long period of time to get over that experience, and that is me speaking from experience. And that, you know, I know I joke and kid a lot, but I'm honestly not kidding about that. You know, it took me a good few months to get over the experience the first time. Clearly, the Tellurium Q statement cables are not going to be for every audiophile, purely based on their price and their cost factor, which is a shame, but it's just how it is. It's just how any industry is. But what I will say is, if you are one of the lucky ones out there who can afford and can shop at this price point, some people shop much higher than this, my advice is do not overlook the Tellurium Q statement cables. Definitely put them on your shortlist, definitely put them on your demonstration list, because you won't be disappointed. You'll be more thrilled than disappointed, I can assure you of that. The Tellurium Q statement cables have had a massive impact on me from the first time I heard them a year or so ago, and then definitely over the last couple of months that I've been listening to them. They are easily and by far the best analog cables that I've had any time or had the experience of listening to at any length, and I easily and very much award them the best analog cables of 2019 award, and they are serious contenders for my overall product of the year 2019. It's difficult to think of any type of product that's had that big an impact on the sound of my review system ever, let alone in the last year. So I hope you've enjoyed this review. I hope you found it useful and helpful. If you'd like to see videos with the Tellurium Q statement cables in my review system, there's lots in the channel to go and see. While we're talking about that, make sure you subscribe to the channel for all the new videos I create. And I create a lot of new hi-fi, home cinema, and all sorts types of videos. Make sure if you enjoyed this one, hit that thumbs up button, hit the notification bell, and I will see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.